What is up, Hammerheads? Welcome back to the Forge. Today we are going to be talking about the Arrowhead survival necklace that I make. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so let's talk about what comes with your Arrowhead survival necklace. You get a hardened 5160 spring steel arrowhead. You get a backup ferro rod, and you get a 550 survival cord. Now in your survival cord, it comes with a red strand for fire making, a cotton strand and a fishing line, and your standard 7 strands and your outer casing. You also receive in your bag a full-size ferro rod. Has a hole in it so you can carry it with you on a lanyard so you won't lose it. Alright guys, so let's talk about our arrowhead for a second. This arrowhead, or these arrowheads, are made out of 5160 spring steel. Hardened 5160 spring steel. So if you turn this into a spear or an arrow in a survival situation and you hit something hard with it, it can potentially crack or damage your fire starter. So be very careful when using it in that capacity. The top half of your arrowhead, let me grab it where I dropped it. Right here on top, you can see it's shiny. That is your striker portion of your arrow, or of your starter, fire starter. So you're able to throw sparks with a ferro rod. Now, over time, just like the spine of your knife can get or anything, you might not be able to throw sparks as well. Go to a sander, a belt sander, go straight in with it, hold it in there for just a second, come out and see if you feel a burr, if you need to resharpen, or if for some reason it gets damaged when you're using it. If you accidentally hit a rock with it or do something, and that portion, that 90-degree spine gets rolled over, just take it to a sander, a belt sander, go straight in, hold it for just a second, come back. If you feel that burr or that 90-degree spine again, and then test it with your ferro rod to make sure it throws sparks. All right, guys, so let's talk about our survival cordage. Now, you get approximately a 44-inch piece of survival cordage. Now, I'm using a brighter color today, so you'll be able to see it a little bit easier on camera. Each cord comes with your 7 strands of 550 cord, that standard 550 cord. You'll have a fishing line and a cotton line, and those colors may vary depending on the cordage and the manufacturer. And a piece of tinder, red tinder material. And you have your outer casing. All can be used in a survival situation. So you can take a couple strands of the 550 cord, tie it to your fishing line, and be able to fish or make snares. You got your cotton line there that you'll be able to make repairs with, or depending on the tensile strength of what you're trying to do with it, have all kinds of tie out projects, tie up the end of a spear if you needed to, anything like that. Has tons of possibilities. So, using our fire cord piece that I already have fluffed up, and our ferro rod and our arrowhead, I'm going to show how to start a fire with this. This is wax coated, or wax impregnated, however you want to say it, cordage. They are sometimes a little finicky and a little bit harder to get started with a ferro rod, so make sure you fluff it up really, really well and get as much surface area as you can, so you'll be able to catch a spark really well. So I'm going to bring you in close and show you guys on the anvil what we're going to be doing. Okay guys, so I got my tinder bundle ready to go right here next to me. Now, I normally would put this inside the tinder bundle and strike it all off, and this is going to be a fire extender for me. Now, as I said, guys, these can be kind of finicky to get going. But like that, you have a fire. Now, if this was inside the tinder bundle, it would have just caught up. See, that's still burning. And they burn for a while. But again, kind of finicky on first getting it started. But do not rely on this just to start your fire. Make sure you have your whole tinder bundle and your fire lay all set up. And if you want me to show you how to set up your fire lay or anything like that, guys, just give a shout in the video, and we'll do a video on setting up a proper fire lay. All right, guys, so one of the next things that you can do with your Arrowhead, and again, always use cautious when you're making certain primitive weapons or primitive tools, is I can take my cordage and pull it apart, which I'm going to be doing anyways if I'm in that survival situation. I'm going to find me a stick, like I have a piece of bamboo right here. Now, if this was a real survival situation, I would be finding a really good, little bit thicker on this end. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use this piece. Now, I am going to, before I wedge my Arrowhead in here, I'm going to split it and tie it. So I don't want it to go past. I don't want it to split apart, so that's why I tie it off. And I use just a couple pieces of the paracord, or the inner strands of the paracord, to tie this off. Now, I left a tab to tie out on. I always like leaving tabs so I can attach things a little easier. Now I'm just going to take one of my strands, maybe two of my strands, start wrapping and getting this really tight. Sometimes this might take a couple minutes to get it done right, but I would rather do it right the first time than have a situation out in the field. Now pull everything really, really good and tight, guys. Wrap it until you have just a little bit left. Now again, this is hardened 5160 spring steel, so when you use it, use caution on what's behind what you're having to aim at. Now this isn't going to be a perfect arrow nor a perfect spear, but it will help in the survival situation better than nothing. We'll take and tie it off. You can cut the excess off if you would like. But right there, guys, you have a small little fishing spear or frog gig to use in a survival situation. Now, you're not going to fight off a bear with this, but this could be one of those, if you had it, it's going to make your life a lot easier in surviving. And you're also not having to use your knife while you're out in the woods for these things. You can minimize the damage to your blade and maximize your ability to be able to hunt or to gig or whatever it is you need to do in that survival situation. All right, guys, one last thing about our Arrowhead survival necklace is this cord wrap at the top. Now, I should have said something about it in the beginning, but I forgot. I put that extra cord wrap on there for two purposes. One is to hold everything together. So if you're just using the striker portion of this, you can pull everything back, loosen everything up a little bit, and it's not going to come apart on you. The second is if you needed extra cordage in a survival situation, having a little bit of natural cordage will help you get a fire started with the red fire cord that's in there, or help you tie out your spear head or arrow if you're using your other inside strands for for fishing or for snares. Just want to give you some extra cordage just in case you might need it in a survival situation. Having that little bit of extra cordage could mean the difference of success and failure. So I wanted to throw that in there just so you know you have that extra cord. The cord wraps on these vary depending on the size of the arrowhead and the size of the section that we were filling up. So you could have a foot or so, or a little bit longer, but roughly in there probably about an extra foot to a foot and a half of cordage. So guys, just want to bring that up so you knew that's what that was there for. All right, guys, so that's the video. I just want to share with you guys today some things you could do with the Arrowhead survival necklace, like making the spear or starting a fire with the tinder cordage that comes with it. And again, I also wanted to talk about how to sharpen your Firestarter portion if for some reason it had gotten dulled out or damaged when you were using it. Guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you on the next one. God bless. Keep hammering.